You're on.
Well, I guess I'm here again. This is Thursday, March 22nd, 9 o'clock Eastern, but I like to think it's 6 o'clock in the center of the universe, Las Vegas, Nevada. I was kidding with Justin. This has been a really, really rough day for Mr. Griffin. And I tell him that sometimes when I come to do these podcasts, I feel like I'm going to my weekly psychiatrist's couch. Justin makes a lousy listener, but, you know, got to live with what you got. And it just seems, I'm just going to ramble for a couple minutes, but something I noticed, you know, I read a lot of the AZ Post, and there's a couple other forums. Why is everybody in such a shitty mood lately? Really?
You're pissing everybody off, man.
No. I'm not even with me. I'm following this. I mean, this thread that you started is now 420 posts, which is the funniest post on all of them. Was Robin Adair says, "Call me Mr. 400." It was on the 400th post.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was so funny because it's the Harriman Schmidt thing. That thing's just gotten out of hand. There was no reason for people to call Danny names. There was no reason for Danny to call people names. There could have been an easy solution to all this thing, and I really think that Danny misread this whole thing, or he'd have been jumping on board so fast. You know, but that's ancient history now.
You know, people ask why, you know, the one guy.
Pool Shark Allen. He just pushes the point.
Well, why did I do, and I'll explain to you why I did it, is that we've been trying to get this match together for almost 3 years now.
Yep.
I think 2008 was the last one.
There's some history.
But the thing of it is, the way Danny sees things, I have a hard time talking to him. I mean, it's just, it's the way.
Yeah, Danny's a different type of character.
Well, I mean, it's just, it's probably as much my fault as anything. But that's the reason why I finally decided to do this in public, was because, you know, he had brought this thing up to me in the past, and I couldn't understand what the hell he was talking about. I mean, to me, it's self-evident that when you have two guys and one says no, there's no match.
Yeah, so you go try to work with the guy that says no. That you're talking about the previous time. And if he says yes, then you go offer the same thing to the other guy and say, hey, we got a deal. Danny jumped to two conclusions.
Well, see, the thing of it is, Danny's done that to me many times before.
I've dealt with him a couple of times.
Danny has done it to me before, you know, and it's always, you know, looking at me like, if I haven't screwed him, I'm going to.
I can tell you.
And I can tell you right now, I've busted my ass and taken both of us, and taken the short end of the stick so many times that, you know, and the thing of it is, Danny got paid from us. Every time Danny was involved with us, he got paid. And
as has everybody. But you know, it's unfortunate. I'm not saying it won't happen. I think that Danny needs.
I can tell you personally, I don't want to deal with the guy.
Well, I'm
serious. It's because, you know what? That was one of the other reasons I put it out there in public, is because now, you know, and here's the thing. Certain players, certain people in all walks of life, I'm not just picking on pool players, but no matter what you do, you'll never make them happy. Yeah. And if we did do this match and it went off and it was a big success, somewhere along the way, win or lose, we would be the bad guys because we disrespected Danny somehow. And no, I'm just.
I understand what you're saying.
I've dealt with this guy on 2 matches, and it's just, you know, Danny. And what sucks is Danny's a magnificent talent. I mean, he's an amazing.
Oh, he's a pure player. I mean, you know, he knows. I'll put my foot in my mouth a little bit here, but I used to play a lot of straight pool 40 years ago. And the things I look at when a person's plays straight pool, do they understand how the balls work? It's not about making the balls. Do they understand how to go in and break them up? Do they understand the little nicks and the little combinations, everything? Danny knows more than John Schmidt does.
You know,
as far as rack picking,
there's even as two players can be.
Well, they're even.
You can't be any more even than those two guys.
It's terribly unfortunate. I'm not saying it's a dead issue, but it's dead.
I am. I'm done with it.
It's not double dead. It's just single dead.
I'm done with it. I'm not going to do it.
There's ways around of everything.
No, there's not.
Yeah, if somebody posts no-show money.
So somebody calls you some fucked up name.
Yeah, well,
you know,
Danny.
And you're still going to pay him.
Listen, I have the privilege of being called every name in the book, plus a few from everybody.
No, I'm
and
not.
it's unfortunate, but it's life. anyhow, I didn't want to get into that too far. I just it just seems like everybody's in a sour mood, and you know that doesn't accomplish anything. We're all in this game of billiards together, but holy mackerel, some of you guys just need to go home and just never pick up a cue stick again, or just go out and play in the traffic. I don't care, but you're involving the rest of the world, and you're. We used to have a bar in Alaska called Menopause Manor, and it's nothing, but it's just like, it seems like that everybody's just having, maybe it's that time of the month for some of these guys. It's bizarre, and it's nonsense, and you know, how do you expect people to do something worthwhile when you're fighting all this negativity? So, yeah. What do they call them, keyboard commandos?
That's just the internet.
Yeah. Well, the internet has really changed things. So.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't get. I mean, you know, it pisses me off sometimes. But you know, when somebody I don't know says something, it's like anymore.
You have to ignore it.
You have to,
yeah, but
because you can't. They don't. You know.
Yeah.
If you know who they are and they stand behind their name, things like that, then then you can have a discussion or get pissed off or whatever you want to do. But people who just they don't mean anything.
No. Anyhow,
trolls.
Going to bigger and better things. One other thing, though, the tar match that we're trying to put together is the 25th tar match. It'll be tar 25, and it was. I think that was another reason, because we wanted something special. So anyhow, be that as it may, let's go on to good news. I got one little tidbit. I don't know if you knew. Yeah, I think you knew part of it. Sergio Rivas, probably a no-name, right? Out of Allen Hopkins Super Billiards Expo, came in 4th out of 980 players. He's 12 years old.
That's cool.
We sponsored him. CSI sponsored him a little bit at the BEF, which is the Billiard Education Foundation Nationals last year. So we do that. We sponsor about 20 kids a year. And it's getting to be that time of the year. And we've been so busy, we're running behind the loop a little bit. I just got the information from Laura Smith. If you have anybody, and it's 18 and under boys, and 18 and under boys, and then 14 and under. And then the same thing for the girls, I think. And you have some players that have some talent, contact CSI. We'll see if we can help them out. It's not like we're paying airfares and everything. It's entry fees, shirt. It comes out to about $75 a person. And it helps support junior pool, and that's what we want to do. So I just want to say hey to Sergio. I never met him. I did talk to his dad a couple of times a couple of years ago. But I think that's pretty strong. 4th out of 980 players, and that was a strong field. That thing is, wow. So that's good.
We're going to have a guest later tonight. Hopefully. Shane's on his way. He just got into the airport. He's here to play the Rum Runner, which is...
oh, yeah, Rum Runner. The local monster. I remember when I lived in Alaska, I used to hear about that. It's a monster.
Yeah, Schmitty's coming too, I think. Talked to Meropolis. He said they're coming down.
64-man field. 4 diamond bar tables. They schedule the matches out. They usually run a little bit late, but it's a race to 6, 9-ball, winner breaks. Yeah. Nobody's run the set in how many? 25 years.
What's the tournament? Like what do they add? Like 5,000 or?
It's something. It's not a whole. It's 3, 4, 5,000 is added. It's a $200 entry fee. So 266, about $16,000 prize fund. They have 2 events. They have the Rum Runner. This is the Andy Mercer, who was one of the founders of the pool leagues in Vegas. And then 2 weeks ago, they had what is the Doc Hill. And Doc Hill was one of the founders of the Rum Runner Bar. And that's kind of like the B division, the Doc Hill. And then they have the Andy Mercer, which is kind of the open to anybody. They have monster Calcuttas.
Crazy Calcuttas.
Not going into the numbers. They're not as high as the one that Texas had, which was in the...
Yeah. To Texas, Louisiana.
Louisiana, yeah. Which is like,
Yeah. White Diamonds, I think.
White Diamonds, yeah. They had a 35 and something, total of 50 some odd. But it's interesting. And you get to see some great pool. And you get to see some people shoot not so great because the nerves catches people.
Oscar and his dad usually come over. Appleton's been here before. Yeah. I don't know who's playing this year. I know Shane and John are going to be there. But
yeah, well, you got anybody that Frank Almanzo's played every year. Mauro Paez, who's won it a couple of times. King Kong. You used to get Danny Medina. I think Danny Medina once or twice years ago. Jeff Heath from Reno has done very well in this tournament. 10 years ago, I think he won it once, maybe twice. Monsters. Brian Parks won it a couple years ago. So it's the luck of the draw. It's the luck of a bar table. Anything can happen. So it's interesting.
Is anybody streaming it?
No.
No.
I think that's something we could probably look into future year. Very smoky.
It's terrible.
I
It's
can't
bad.
even. It's a bar, and it's,
Well, in Vegas, you can smoke in bars as long as it's not got a restaurant attached. And I actually, right after I moved here, went down and talked to them about streaming it, and it was just one thing. There's absolutely no room. When that place is,
you're crammed.
It's literally asshole to elbow.
Yeah.
And it's like it's old school pool, man. It's pretty good money on bar tables, but it's asshole to elbow, and you can't even. You can cut the smoke with a knife.
They raised the entry fee to $200 entry. It used to be $100, and it fills up. They could probably fill it to 128 players. You can't do it. They only have 4 tables.
John Barton just had an interesting question.
John Barton or Bartoon? Bertone or Barton?
Barton.
Oh, from China.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in the U.S. now.
Yeah.
I read. Yeah. Hi, John.
Can I finish the question?
John, listen, you don't know John. John has answers, not questions. No,
he's got a good question.
No, John is a good. I get along with John fine. A lot of people don't. He's good. Now you can ask the question.
He said, "Is there too much streaming now?" And I can see pluses and minuses of that. I think that there's enough room for everybody. Like doing local events and stuff like that. To me, I think the more streaming, the better. But I don't see streaming taking off like some thought it would. I mean, it's definitely. Well, I guess it has taken off because you went from 1 or 2 people doing it to now everybody and their brother does it. So that's got to be a good thing. But
you have a couple of different things here. It's good and bad.
Well, one thing is good is that the people who are doing it, what I consider local streamers, or people who, they might not drive more than 100 miles from their house to do a match or do a tournament or whatever. And, the quality is what it is. Some's better than others. It's mostly single camera stuff. But now you've got certain things to where there's a lot of people out there, not a lot, several people out there trying to do things. And really all they're doing is muddying the water. And, they're making promises to people or saying, yeah, we're going to do this. And then, we go to somebody and say, look, we want to do this. Oh, I don't know if I can do that because I've been talking to these guys. Yeah. And the thing of it is, they always promise a little bit more than what we do. The only difference is when people play for us, they actually get what we promise.
I don't look at it as a competition thing because we do different venues now than they do.
No.
We do.
No, I'm talking about events. Like that the inside pool thing down in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
They've got a studio down there, and I've called a couple of players, and they're like, oh, well, they tell me they're going to do this.
Well, that's true.
They tell me we're going to do that. And the thing of it is, it's like
they haven't done anything.
That's fine. No problem. But
it did queer one match.
Yeah.
It queered a match of ours, which I think everybody would have enjoyed.
And the thing of it is, it's like, that's cool if somebody's going to do it, but do it. At least do it. Don't just screw it up and then not do anything.
Well, here's my take on it is there too much streaming? Initially, I'm going to say no, there isn't, because all these streamers, like you said, they're teaching people how to use access and access the feeds and this and that. That's all great. But they're all going to go broke. And the model is so bad that you can't do it for nothing. You have to have some kind of sponsorship. Love of the game is one thing, but
that'll only last until the money runs out,
or your camera blows up, or your computer blows up, or somebody pours a Coke on it, or you get caught in the middle of something and everybody starts calling you an asshole. So what needs to happen is there has to be some kind of cohesive sponsorship. But the standard pool sponsors, the Simonas and whoever, they can't sponsor everybody.
Well, see, I think what it comes down to is one of the things is, it's good for you local streamers and stuff like that. The bar to entry is so low. That's how we got started. I mean, it's if everybody that wanted to stream had to come in and buy as much shit as we got, you'd only see 1 or 2 guys. Yeah. But the fact of it is, and you look at something, you got guys like Andy Chin and now Daniel Bush and POV Pool have gotten on board out around
California,
LA. And then, there's, I can't think of the name of it. Honestly, there's so many of them.
There's a ton, right?
But,
there are,
I saw one in South Dakota a couple last week, I think, when Shane was up there playing.
Yeah, it was, off of the Valley thing. It was a funny, nameofthegame.com or something.
I don't know.
It was, I saw a piece of it.
Decent single camera stream,
Actually, they had two cameras. They had two tables side by side.
Okay, I only saw one. But,
and it's teaching everybody how to do it. It's exposing people.
But my whole point leading up to that was that the people who are trying to make money at it, there's going to rapidly come to a point, if anybody does figure out how to make money at it, to where all the streamers out there now that aren't producing their own events are basically piggybacking on other people who are producing the event. And that's a good thing because it provides exposure. And as long as they're doing it, Until, now, say you get a promoter who puts on an event and he might realize, just say he realizes $4,000 or $5,000 profit from the event. Now, if a streamer comes out there and he can find this audience or sponsors or everything, and the streamer starts making as much or more than the promoter, and all he has to do is show up the week before, or the 2 days before and set up and stream and do all this other stuff, well, that word's going to get out, and the promoters are going to want money, and the players are going to want money. So now, here's the thing.
The model now changes.
Yeah, and that's the whole point with the free stream thing, whatever, or even the pay-per-view. If you don't produce your own events, then what's going to happen is, if you ever even do start to get successful, there's going to be a giant wall thrown right in front of you. So to me, that's where... And that's something. Hopefully, we get to that point. Hopefully,
and hopefully, if somebody finds the answer, that's just change. That's just growth. It's just maturity. It happens in everything. But there is a ton of streamers out there, and in so many ways it's good, but there are some downsides, and everybody should just be a little cautious.
I think it's cool to see. I'm putting some moderators in here.
Okay. It's interesting. It's an interesting debate. It's just technology. That's all. I heard 5 years ago that in 5 years, TV's not going to be TV. It's going to be internet, and it's going to be 500 channels. And I'm thinking, well, that's really cool. Which is almost there. Yeah. But now, when you get 500 channels, how in the hell do you get any identity?
Yeah.
How do you stick out? How do they find you? And this is what's going on with everything.
That's where social media comes in.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, it's. Yeah. It goes back to this. Everybody talks about mainstream this, mainstream that. Screw mainstream. Give me 10,000 people. 10,000 people on Earth that will buy the best players in the world playing pool. Everybody's going to make a living.
Well, and that's interesting because when they watch a stream, a pay-per-view, they got to write a check or PayPal or whatever for $20, $25, whatever, $30, whatever it is. And when they go watch TV, they think it's free, but really you're paying $75 a month for cable.
Yeah.
And then TV, you get 10 million people watching something, which is nothing because there's 400 million sets out there just in the U.S. So everything is pretty messed up. Even going from TV, pool on TV with ESPN. ESPN doesn't pay for that product. If I could get stuff on TV on ESPN. All I got to do is spend $75,000 or $100,000 producing on TV and filming it and talk them into showing it. But I got to give it to them, and then they.
Well, let's not turn this into a how to fix pool.
No,
because we've been over this a million times.
There's a lot. It's just much more complicated than is first apparent.
What else has been going on?
Well, U.S. Bar Table Championship was a month ago, and it did quite well. A nice venue. All this. We're very, very close to signing the contracts for 2013 and 2014. And we have the dates in for 2015 and 2016. So it looks like we'll have 4 more years up there without any big problems.
Good.
Which will then, that was the 19th year we just did on that? Yeah. We're going to.
I don't know.
This is crazy. The Swanee was the 16th year. The Bar Table was the 19th year. Our Nationals is the 37th year. And everything's going quite well as far as putting together our VCA National Championships at the Riviera. Our numbers are higher than last year.
Good.
It's too early to tell, but the trends are set. You know, we've already got over 2,000 people signed up. So
what are the rooms at the Riv this year?
you know, I don't even actually honestly know. I know if you signed up early and did an 8-day or something, you could get them for $60 a night. And then after a certain date, it went to 70, and then it goes to 80.
Okay.
So, and this is the last year at the Riv. We had a meeting with them the other day, and they were so nice. It was awesome that
That's
they
good.
were. You know, they're you know, they've had some management changes and things like that.
Are there any changes over there from last year?
Yeah, when
Or
you
will
go
there be?
where you go to our registration counter is now the hotel registration counter.
You're shitting me.
Oh no, and you know something? It actually functions. So now the bingo hall, which you know, we lost our 101 and 102, that was the action room, and they're going to be relocating the bingo hall. There is a possibility they're going to relocate it before our tournament. So we may get that space back.
Yeah.
Because I've been telling everybody, because I was told, that we lost those spaces, so I had to move everything into the front room. It's up in the air. But you know,
So where will your registration be?
it's going to be back where I call it where Mark Estes was last year. It's where the pro arena, you know, the
Yeah.
grid that comes down.
You're kidding me.
It's plenty big. It's fine. It's between the two
It'll be
ballrooms.
different. Yeah.
And
I mean, it's where
it'll
the
be fine.
pro tickets were.
Where the pro tickets were, it's fine. Listen, you'll find it. And you know, it's just like we're moving to another venue. That's growth. We're moving to the Rio in 2013. A few people debating or talking about July versus May, because we're in May now. We're moving to July. 10-1 in favor of July.
Wow.
So, and I read a thing on one of the forums like, oh, I wish they didn't move it to May. That was so rude, and then blah, blah. And just kind of a negative post. You know, I'm sorry if you can't make it. But there's been people that haven't been able to make it in the last 10 years either. I'm sorry. We can't please everybody. We have to do what works best for everybody and ourselves.
Yeah.
But I sure wish people would think before they stir the hornet's nest. You know, I guess people is people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's part of and honestly, that's one of the reasons why, and I've thought about this, you know, and I've talked to somebody, you know, there's a reason why guys like, you know, Pat from AccuStats doesn't post on AZ Billiards.
Oh, there is. You know,
I mean,
I'm
there's a reason why, you know, you don't see a lot of people in the industry fooling around on forums. And it's simply for the fact that they just want to do what they do and do with their products, and you know, and it's real easy to make you. I've been times where I've gotten to the point where I'm just like, you know what?
I bailed on one thread a few years back, and it was obvious that I was getting, all of a sudden, 3 new members signed up, and they just kept picking and picking. And it was on different league systems, and they were out of line. Because you can't, you know, I mean, it's like I say, everybody I get in a little argument with, I says, I'm real simple. Here's my phone number, here's my email. Call me up and talk. Or tell me who you are before and they just won't do it. And I don't appreciate and I don't respect people. I don't care, you don't have to put it on the public forum that your name's Joe Blow from Kokomo. But if you want to get into discourse and a debate with me, you can PM me and I can call you, or I give you my number. You can call me. Don't hide behind a computer screen. You know, and everybody says, oh, I don't want to be, whatever. Just screw that stuff. It's just, you're just being a wimp.
Yep.
And you're just, you know, you're not backing up your convictions. I don't know, but
that's always been one of my things, is if somebody's not willing to at least, you know,
sign your name somewhere.
Somehow,
I agree.
or stand up behind it, you know, or, you know, if somebody does something, you know, perfect example, he's right. Actually, let me kill this phone real quick.
I didn't know we had a phone down here.
Yeah.
Yeah. House phone. Yeah, I guess, you see, when you get bundled, you get bundled, see? So, anyhow, this is not a rant or rave. This is just, my only thing is please be a little more, please treat people like you would like to be treated. And that's all. But pool has been, I feel that this thread that you started is showing something that's troublesome. You're offering, TAR is offering approximately $6,000. You know, it depends who the players are, so nobody sign up and say, I'll do it. Because, you know, obviously you have to sell enough pay-per-views to offset those expenses. it's troublesome when you're giving free money away and people won't play.
Yeah.
Where is this going?
I don't know.
I was talking to a friend of mine. I'm trying to remember who it was, but oh yeah.
And you know what I think a
been
lot of it
playing pool?
goes back to is it's so different in pool and there's this fucked up hustler mentality that in this country, if we don't get over it, nothing's ever going to change. And the thing of it is, it really will get worse because anybody that's got any desire or money to do anything will just go do something else. And that is this whole idea that, well, if you're willing to put up money, that means you think you're going to make some money, which means you should give me more money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
People forget what gamble is all about. Typical example, I was just talking with on the U.S. Bar Table Championship. We're in February. I want them to put in a clause like, if it gets 20 feet of snow and they close the pass and the airport down, I don't have to guarantee X amount of hotel rooms.
Right.
Because I saw that happen one time up there.
Right, yeah,
They
it can
did
happen.
close the airport.
Yeah, it can happen.
And I'm not going to, I mean, so when there's risk, there has to be reward.
Right, exactly.
And I'm just perplexed that it's tough enough, you know, for the first 3-4 years, TAR worked off of the concept of backers. Or bring your own money. Yeah. Shane brings his own money 90% of the time. Unfortunately, the backers dried out. And I don't know if that's because
well, it's not even the backers. It's just the fact that, you know, number one, I've seen guys back that say they don't want to play. You know, I've never seen anything like players, the shit that goes on in this country with pro players. I mean, it's
go to
like,
the Philippines. They
you know,
play
I've
every
known
day.
guys that have been staked. Get in a box. No. Why not? I don't want to.
Yeah, it's just,
And what it is a lot of them really are just scared to lose. That's my opinion. Not all of them, but some people, they don't want to lose.
well, we're going to have to find a different model. Or the other thing that's really troublesome is there's only a certain elite few players
Yeah.
that you, the audience,
Will pay to
even watch.
And the thing of it is,
It doesn't work. You know,
if we can't get, we can't give money. You know, the thing of it is, perfect example, like, I love Oscar to death. He's my boy. Oscar and Raj played.
what a bomb.
We can't have,
Yeah.
we can't put up
can't do that.
$6,000 and have that kind of match.
Well, in all honesty, we had some expenses on that, and I'm not even sure if we even saw daylight on that one. That was
was
probably
yeah.
a wash.
Yeah,
You count
at
the
best.
expenses,
At best, it was a wash.
and you know, it's okay
But-
if you do it once in a while, but we can't pay the
Right.
rent, and
Exactly.
et cetera, et cetera. You know?
And so that's one of the things that, to me, this thing we're doing now, we're just going to find out who wants to play and who don't. And the thing of it is, if these guys don't want to play, then honestly, I think it's time to just, try to
We'll do
move on.
events. Well, we'll just
Yeah.
we'll do special
Tournaments
events
or stuff like that,
tournaments,
yeah. But, I mean, it's,
And everybody says to get everybody up front and everything. Oh well, we'll buy the DVDs. It is a huge hassle to make DVDs on extended matches, and ours are always extended matches. Yeah. Pat Fleming's got a very good formula. He's dealing with races to 11 or 9 or 7.
single disc stuff mostly.
Yeah, a 45-minute match. Now you can actually get the editing done and get a product out in a.
Well, you're paying $1, $2 tops per disc for a one disc thing. That's ready to go, but you got to order 1,000 of them at a time. So, you not counting your cost of production that it costs you to actually capture the footage, but once you have it in the can, if you're willing to print 1,000 of them at a time, you can get a 1 hour match. You can get 1,000 copies of that. So now, if you can sell that for $19.99 or $24.99, yeah, sure. Then it starts to make sense if you really build that infrastructure to do that. But at various times throughout history, we've tried to do it, and it's just with our matches, it doesn't work.
8 discs,
8,
we
10.
can't make more than 100 of them because we'll never sell that many.
Right.
But really, what the biggest issue is, it takes a month or two full time basically to turn it into a finished product.
Yeah.
And now that means you're not working on making another one happen.
Well, the answer has always been the same, and that's video on demand.
Yeah, and
I've actually found a way to do it. That it's like it's pretty interesting because there's in the independent film world, there was some guys and they were looking for a way to release their stuff, but not to do it like if you do it on iTunes, you don't make any money. unless you have a billion downloads. But what they were doing was basically they hosted it in a cloud on Amazon, and then because on Amazon it's like super reasonable.
Okay.
Super reasonable for streaming content.
Is this Raymond? Raymond send you? Okay.
No.
Okay. Never mind.
No. It's the power of Google, sir. But and then it's hosted on Amazon. The thing of it is, you have to build your own front end, and it's a WordPress template, and then there's a plugin that you buy for the WordPress template. And I've looked it all up, and it all makes a lot of sense. But there's like some manual coding that has to get done, and that's where I'm kind of lost. So I'm still working on that, but it's it's something we got to do.
And I'm convinced, in my crazy nonsensical way, that a billiard channel still makes sense, but it would be an internet billiard channel. Just flat 24/7 billiard tapes at a minimal fee. But it has to be non-labor intensive. It has to be like automatic.
Yeah.
$5 a month, $8 a month, whatever, and here's your catalog. You can watch them all.
Well, if we can host the prices that were quoted on by the Amazon thing, we could do a $9.99 a month, and all you could eat. So you could watch
any one of you that's
watch.
on the menu. Just pick the one you want.
Exactly.
It's like cable TV. Yeah. Well, listen, technology's coming, but this world is changing so fast. Because if Justin would have told me that, hey, we're going to give away $6,000 and we're going to call these two guys up and they're not going to play, I'd say, huh? It's a little mind-boggling. And we're not.
Well,
we'll find somebody else.
Schmitty's ready to go.
Yeah, I understand.
I got a message from Mike DeShane saying, hey, I'm ready to roll.
Sure.
There's
a lot of them that would play.
Dennis Hatch. Dennis Hatch is like, look, I want to play.
He's working right now.
The only thing with Dennis is he's working right now, and so we're gonna try and do something with Dennis in May.
Yeah.
But maybe that's the next thread we start. Is just like and the other thing is, and this is one of the backfires, is not backfire, but this offer that we made to Danny and John for the $6,000. That's the high end. That's the top of the scale.
Yeah,
because
and make sure you understand that.
Yeah, because I've had people think
well, they think we're making $50,000 doing this crap.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's kind of like and it's not 6,000, it's 8,000, because it's 6,000 in prize fund, but now you've got expenses. You got $500 a piece for airplane tickets.
Hotel rooms.
Yeah, hotel room's going to be another $300 to $400 per. So and then you're going to have crew expenses.
And you got our expenses, the operation expenses, which is
that doesn't even cost if you start figuring out rent, electric, equipment costs. It's just it goes on and on and on. But so that's one of the things is it's like that was the high end. We need to be making matches for $4 or $5,000. And the thing of it is, if somebody's not willing to come out here and try to win, $1,000, and part of me wants to say, you know what, screw the show money. What we ought to do, say, look, here's $5,000. Who wants to come play for it? Or maybe, part of me today, what I thought about was what we ought to do? We ought to take Shane and just say, look, here's $5,000.
You get it if you beat him.
We'll fly you out.
Yeah.
We'll fly you out. We'll put you in a hotel. If you can beat him,
you get the money.
You get the money. And guess what? Now you're the guy that gets to stay, and we'll fly somebody out till they beat you. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a king of the hill.
That's what I mean. And I think that's the way it happens.
That's like years ago, Joe Porper and I said how to make something. This is 25 years ago. I said, think boxing. You got a ranking system, and the 25th guy can't challenge the top guy, but you can,
But really, I think that, and to me, that's always been one of my pet peeves, is because ever since I've gotten this business, I don't have a safety net. If I show up and I don't perform, I don't get paid. If something goes bad, I don't get anything. You know what I mean? And
well, a lot of this gets back to the player mentality is getting really warped in this country.
And to me,
it's very disturbing.
Yeah, to me, I'm really starting to think that the move is just say, look, what?
It's yours if you can get it.
come win it. You know what I mean? We'll see who the best is. And you know what? If people just don't want to come, then we'll answer that question, won't we?
Yeah. Turn the light switch off.
Who's the best player?
Yeah, well, that's true.
No, that's a question we'll answer. We'll just answer that, and then nobody will be able to say anything. because, you know.
There are some people that can give Shane a good match. I mean,
Absolutely.
I mean, where's Johnny Archer? I mean, I'd love
Archer,
to see John Archer play.
Shane. I mean, there's any one of these guys can win in a set.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. The thing of it is, most of them would never play because they'll never get a backer to take the worst of it and put them in the game.
But we've eliminated that.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's like.
Yeah. And let's keep everything honest. You know, when Earl and Shane played, you know, Earl was actually ahead when he quit. But I had to put Earl in.
Yeah, CSI stayed through.
And Earl quit. Quit. He didn't get beat. He quit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to get involved. I can't do that again.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm, you know, I don't care how badly you get beat.
Yeah.
If you get beat,
Right.
You quit.
Can't quit.
I can't do business with you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and that's. And there will be some pretty nice little rules when we get these things happening. And, you know, anybody that does business, you'll never play in another TAR or CSI event again.
Ever.
Ever.
Yeah.
I'm done with this
Right.
mealy mouth crap.
Right. And to me,
Either
that's,
act as a professional or go play tiddlywinks.
Right.
I'm sorry, I don't. It's not even based on skill. It's based on your morality and your principles and your ethics. You know.
And the thing
Wow.
is, there's good guys out
That was
there.
a soapbox, wasn't it?
No, yeah, but it's honestly that's where I'm at. You talking about everybody's acting pissed off lately, and I am pissed off. And it's not it's not at any one person. It's just kind of the thing that's accepted as normal in this game. I mean, if I had to explain to an outsider some of the things that are just accepted as normal behavior in pool, they would think I was a retard.
Yeah.
They would think I was stupid. I mean, they do what? You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's pretty
just
bizarre. You know, and it gets back to there's no leadership. And, you know, I have to at least mention ABP at least once a week. I mean they're supposed to be the Players Association.
I'm curious to see how it goes with this one.
Well, the ABP is the Players Association. Where are they? You know? And there's a lot of animosities. You read some of these threads on AZ Billiards. There's some real animosity against the ABP and the
Burning
top
bridges.
people. Man, faster than they can build them.
Yeah, burning bridges.
Now, if they're going to take a stand, get your butt in gear and do it. You know.
Well, the ABP.
You and I both know it. It's a lost cause at this point. They have.
Yeah,
I don't think they can rebuild it.
It is.
Gone.
It's gone. But. And whatever they do from here on out will just probably cause more damage before it finally goes away. And hopefully we'll just see it go out with a whimper instead of a bang. But he and I have talked about it. And one of my points is you can't have a players organization until you have a money, or a tournament.
You got to have a hammer.
Yeah, you have to have the hammer. So if somebody comes along and said, look, we're going to have a players organization, and we're going to do X, Y, Z. And here's the thing, we could do it with our events. We could say, look, if you're part of this organization, you get to play in these events. And you're the only people that get to play in these events. You're the only ones who have access to this cash. And anybody that wants to come in has to agree to these rules. And, and this and that. But the thing of it is, I'll never do that. For one reason, and that's because
it becomes political.
It becomes so you can't win. And the other thing is, it's hard enough. You know what I mean? Without trying to do that. But unless and until it's a chicken or an egg thing, you can't have an organization without a tour, and you can't have a tour without an organization.
Yeah. But it's interesting. I was having a discussion with somebody, and I did not realize this, because everybody says, the players got to have a union. Everybody's got to have a union or a collective bargaining thing. And says, what about NASCAR? I says, what do you mean, what about NASCAR? I says, there is no drivers association.
No.
It's real simple. This is our event. Would you like to drive? No. It's kind of an open event.
Well, that's nothing compared to F1. NASCAR is a democracy compared to F1.
But, you go there, and they rate how good you are. You say, all right, Mark Griffin, go drive the car 140 miles an hour. Oh, you didn't do too good. You're limited to this speed, the dirt tracks or whatever. And as you prove yourself, you work your way up in the ability scale, and then you show up with your car or whatever, I guess. I didn't know that.
No, it's it's
kind of interesting.
The history of NASCAR is pretty fascinating.
Yeah,
and it's NASCAR is a benevolent dictatorship.
Yeah.
And
Well, it is now with that, what's his name, the family that owns all the
Yeah.
tracks and everything.
right.
But, and
Well, no,
that's
it's always been that way. It's always
well,
been.
it started from, what?
Yeah,
was it
but
the good old
if-
boys running around on dirt
right.
tracks and
Look,
everything.
trust me. Look at the history of NASCAR. Google it. Watch the video, and you'll
I'd
see what I'm
rather
talking
go
about.
read the history on darts.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
last time we had that debate. There's a lot of historical, data on a lot of associations and everything, but I don't know if you need a players' union or not. The only reason you need players' union in the past is because of non-payment or because the players think they need a players' union. But I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not trying to bash the players, man. I'm not, and it's not the players I'm bashing. It's the whole system and kind of AVP. But you can't have something unless you work for it. You can't have an organization unless people put in time.
Oh, look, we get a reprieve.
Yeah, look at this.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man.
Hey, there he is. What's up, buddy?
Huh? Can you tell you how to dip me?
How did what?
How do you dip me at?
Oh, yeah.
Blaming
You're a
everything
pro.
on me. Yeah, we're going to introduce these people. Yeah, you're in trouble now. You've just been outed yourself. This guy that just walked in.
Right, yeah, be careful.
Come on up here.
Come on, Kenny.
We have to.
We talked about you last week.
This is Kenny Brisbane from Michigan. We are friends with him, so this is Black Kenny. Okay? It's not a big deal. If you can't tell he's black, fix your TV. But
tell him what you did
funniest
to him.
thing. Oh yeah, it was all my fault. He's out there playing in the infamous high run contest in the Super Billiards Expo. And this guy can't even count to straight pool, let
He's a
alone
straight
play
pool
it.
hustler, man.
Oh yeah.
Stone cold.
So he gets up there and he takes his. Was it on your first attempt?
No, on my third attempt.
On
I
your-
scratched on the first two.
Well, I meant, but on your first
My first
four
attempt.
of,
my
of
first
five,
attempt.
you get
My
5
first-
tries.
Yes. Third
He
inning.
hits 118 in 5 tries. And the guys that Charlie and Steve out there, oh, you can't be in this. You're too good. He looks at him and says, what? He didn't even play straight pool. But he snapped off a 62
Yeah,
you
on a
know,
diamond,
on a
right?
diamond, and he ended up with 118, which was like, he was like number 10 out of all the world champions there.
Yeah.
And this guy here, Shane ended up with a high run of 115.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever played? I mean, I know you play straight pool, but have you ever played in a straight pool tournament?
No.
See? I mean, so
Here,
this,
let's get him over here and
this
sit
straight
down. And
pool
we'll-
thing is getting interesting to me because I always thought that, the Mosconis of the world were the, God's gift to pool. Now it looks like any swinging whatever can run 100. Nothing personal. And this other guy is Randy Kukla. He's a local
Put your gun out.
pool player. You're from Michigan. Already. Detroit?
Bay City.
Oh, Valley City.
Yeah.
Valley City, yeah.
City.
Bay City, Michigan, yeah. So, hey, they're going to stop by because they're in town for the
Rum
Rum Runner.
Yep.
Yeah, I am.
Did you ever win that thing?
I won it twice in the last 3 years.
Did you? Oh, really? Because I know one year you didn't. Really?
I won it twice and I got third in 1 year. And this guy got real lucky on me.
I know. That's what I say too. Every time I get beat, the guy got real lucky. Even sometimes I got to say the girl got real lucky. But, how many years you played in it?
I think this is going to be my 4th year.
Wow, you have had some good luck. Because, before him, there's a Jim, come on.
Blakeman.
Jim Blakeman had won it twice. Jeff Heath had won it twice. Didn't Morrow win it twice over the years?
I'm not sure.
And then years ago, I mean,
I think Jim won it twice in a row. And Morrow, he won it twice in a row too.
oh, I don't know. Then Jeff Heath were years apart. And then we used to call him the Sheriff of Nottingham. Died way too young. David Nottingham.
What is it with you and all these goofy Alaska?
No. He was a local guy here. David Nottingham.
We used to call him Wobbly Pete.
No, and he was one of the better players in the area. And way back when, 25, 30 years ago, he won it once or twice. He was a cool guy. He was he wasn't a pro player, but he was pretty damn strong. But he'd play anybody for $20 sets. I mean, and now that's
Like a good player.
Yeah.
it was, and he died. He was only like 45 years old. He had huge ears, but they called him the Sheriff of Nottingham because he used to.
I have a
they
question.
used to- 'cause,
I have a question.
He always had to be locked up.
What?
And what?
we got Shane
Oh,
here,
yeah.
all right?
I know. That's all right.
You can do this every Thursday.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. So how many you going to run a set?
Yeah.
You're going to run the set. You're going to run 6 and out on somebody.
I did that last year.
See, now he's making me a liar.
Yeah.
I said that it would never, I didn't.
Who'd
I
you run
wasn't-
6 and out on? You remember?
It was against the guy from California. What's his name?
I really didn't think anybody had ever run 6 and out.
Tiger Prodigy. Who's that?
At the
Corey?
Rum Runner?
Corey Harper.
Corey Harper?
I didn't know that. Then that was the first
other
year.
guy broke and didn't get out.
Well, that's not 6 and out. The rule is you have to win the lag, and the other guy cannot get to the table.
Is it alternate break this year or winner break?
No, winner breaks.
Winner break.
Well, that's good.
For somebody.
Shane's like, oh,
I got a new rule.
well, give me the check,
What
we'll
is the
save
new
the
rule,
quarters.
really?
The rule is the
One.
1 and the 2. The 1 is at the top, 2 is at the bottom, and the 3 and the 4 in the corners, and you can't
On
touch
the
the
wings.
balls after you move the rack off.
Oh,
After you move the vac on. I leave the vac on. I touch the ball.
No. Keep in
Can't
mind,
touch
for
the rack
years,
after you move the rack.
they rack the balls for you. Are they
move
still
the rack.
racking
Move
them?
the rack off,
It's
you
rack
can't
your
touch the
own.
balls.
It's rack your own now.
Yeah.
See, they used to use the Sardo rack,
And
and they
that's
had
supposed to be
one of the
Shane Van
brothers.
Boeing.
well,
the Shane Van Boeing rule? Keep
So
you from
let me ask you
finger
this.
banging
Let
the
me ask you
balls?
this.
Right.
When I rack the balls, I can touch it.
As long as the
Yeah.
rack is on.
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
But once the rack comes off, if the ball rolls forward, you're stuck.
You stuck unless
Yeah.
you re-rack it. You
Oh,
can
they'll
re-rack
let
it.
you re-rack
You
it.
can re-rack
Yeah.
it.
You know,
can't touch the ball
and
after
you know,
you
Take the rack or
I
slide the
know.
ball.
And you know, there's been a lot of threads on the magic ball rack. I still think it's the way to go. I know everybody says it wires the ball. You still
The
got to know how to
magic,
hit them.
the magic rack got to be the way to go.
Because you eliminate all this racking crap, which
Yeah,
is
just
killing
throw 'em in.
tournaments.
But now on 9-ball on a bar table, the magic
winner
rack,
break?
winner break.
What about your tournament this year at the U.S. Open? Is it going to be rack for each other or rack your own?
Rack your own magic ball rack, right?
Yeah, that's not what we did last year.
Yeah.
Last
No,
year
you know, last
we
year
played rack for each other's.
You know, that's a good question, and I'll check with Bill. We did change it, and it was almost a mistake that we changed it, but we were playing winner breaks, and since you're using the magic rack, in U.S. Open 10 balls, winner breaks.
Right.
And in the U.S. Open 10 ball, since we were playing winner breaks, we thought that the loser should rack them. And since
No,
with the
yeah,
magic
that's right.
rack,
I remember
it's a tight rack.
I remember having
It's a-
that
But
conversation.
a lot of people are cheating on each other all the time.
You know,
There was a lot of conflicts between,
Dude,
like,
what-
how
for
do you
example,
cheat?
Mike and
How-
Johnny
how,
Archer.
How do you cheat? Did Mike rack his own? No.
They had a little conflicts going on.
That's because somebody's feelings got hurt because somebody else ran 7.5 racks on him.
Well, there've been issues with the rack.
What's wrong with rack your own?
Okay, yeah. Which way? So who's cheating who? I can't cheat myself, but I can cheat you.
Right, so that's why you have
can
rack
cheat-
your
I can
own.
cheat you.
Yeah.
I can cheat you.
But you can't. Cheat yourself.
Shane
No.
said, I'll cheat your ass. Watch
Yeah.
me.
You can't cheat me.
Yeah.
I can make it where you're not going to make the side pocket.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's a good argument for rack your own.
That's what I've always said.
you know,
It should be.
A lot of people know how to use the magic rack. They
to
know
stop somebody else.
They know how to manipulate the
Yeah.
rack wood and make the ball.
Well, that's
a lot
their
of
job.
people, like 95% of the people, knows how to do that, and people always cheat each other if you're going to play rack.
Well,
rack for each other.
that means something to me. And you know, all these arguments about the rack. A rack is supposed to give you a tight rack. If it means you got to rack your own, then so be it. Because I mean, nothing. I feel bad if I give him a slug rack. Well, maybe not him.
Why?
But it's just because I feel bad. Because
So-
then I think
so-
now he's going to give me one.
Yeah.
So
well,
what-
well, so why would you do anything but rack your
Well,
own?
we've been pretty much rack your own. We've led the stream to rack your own. I went 18 years ago 16 years ago at the Swanee tournament. I went rack your own.
So
The
why
first
did you have
tournament
rack
ever.
for each
So-
other last year? Let's
I'm not
put you
real
on the
sure.
griddle here,
No,
sir.
I'm not sure. I said it was half an accident. It's because we started using the magic rack. We says, well, it's got to be a perfect rack, so the loser should rack like the old days. It was probably a mistake. Did I make a mistake?
the old days.
Well, I remember that argument last year.
Yeah, so do I.
Because
I'm
I was saying rack your own.
Yeah,
man,
I'm
rack
glad you
your own.
asked. See,
The old days, like Johnny Archer, he's known as the best.
oh,
and
now
to
don't
me,
mention
he's
names.
known as the best
Rack mechanic.
rack
Joe Tucker
mechanic, but
probably
you
would
can't
do
make
that
the
one
ball.
because he knows everything.
So I mean,
Yeah.
that's the key for racking.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Anybody that does that stuff to win needs to have their chalk spat in. I mean, really, that's cheating. If you have to win that way, then you're not a pool player. That's like putting razor blades in your boxing gloves. Or
Yeah,
something
we've
crazy
already got
crap.
people saying, please let Shane talk just a
I
little.
agree. You got it. Go, man, go.
So this year, U.S. Open going to be vacuum then, I suppose.
I'm going to guess that you're probably right, but I'm not going to make that official right now because Bill Stock and I, we go over this in the office, but I'm pretty sure with refreshing my memory and everything, that's probably the way to go.
So you just came off of, you snapped off the Philly tournament.
This guy's on fire.
What do you I looked at the AZ Billiards money list the
Yeah,
other
100
day.
yet?
You know where you're at?
79,000.
It's $740, right? Exactly. That's exactly right. But the next closest guy, I think, has 20 grand, and it might be a woman because.
I believe it's Julun Cheng from Taipei.
Okay, it's like 20 grand, right?
Wow.
Yeah, he won the World 8-ball tournament. So.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's
and it's-
amazing.
And March ain't
You-
even
you-
over yet.
No, I just, you are an amazing player. And
Do you
and-
feel
and
like this year is like 2007? You have that kind of feeling?
No.
No, you don't feel that.
My best year was last year.
You think?
Yeah. I feel pretty good last year. I played great all year, especially in the Moscone Cup. You know, I just feel better than I had before. Because I'm older now.
Yeah.
I'm more mature
Yeah,
for my age.
not the highs and the lows, a little more.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you're working out a lot now too, right?
Yeah.
You're working out, eating right,
I've
exercising.
been running 5 miles a day.
You and Earl, I'll tell you what, they can have a race.
Oh,
there's,
right.
there's your next tar match.
You gotta run. You gotta be an athlete to be the world-class pool player.
See, and I agree. And you know, Mika and Holman
Yeah.
and those guys
Exactly.
have pushed that for years. And
Yeah.
I will,
Appleton, Appleton takes
Yep.
care of himself. You know, all those guys.
I think that's what it takes to be
to get the top level.
to the top level, and it helps your confidence. It just helps you, to win.
How many miles do you fly a year?
No, I don't even know. I don't even.
You don't
keep
have a
track of
frequent
it.
flyer mile package
I
card
do,
or
but
something?
I don't know what the number is.
You know, because one time you were telling me his routine, he rattled off, you went from Florida to the Philippines to Louisiana to China to, I mean, it was just like, what is this? Like, it was
It
like,
was actually from home to Vegas, Vegas to Indonesia, Indonesia to Nicaragua, Nicaragua to Louisiana, Louisiana to New York,
Damn.
yeah,
all in one month.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just,
So
Hey, but we were talking about, I don't know if our thing now, and I talked to you about this, that we're going to start putting up prize funds, kind of like a UFC style thing, and letting people play. And this last week, I don't know if did you see any of the stuff on the internet with Danny and John? We were trying to get that match together.
are they gonna play here?
No,
not as it stands. No.
because well,
There's 420 opinions on it, though.
the offer.
Somebody posts
Here was
there.
the offer. It was each player's guaranteed. We pay all their expenses. You come to Vegas. Each player is guaranteed $1,000. They play an all around. There's 3 sets. Okay, there's 3 sets. So whoever they get paid $1,000 for each set they win, and whoever wins gets an overall bonus of $1,000. So it's a $6,000 prize fund, all expenses paid, and they're guaranteed $1,000. Danny
The
said
winner
he didn't
would-
want to play.
The winner would get 5 and the loser would get,
No.
the winner gets,
No, if
Yeah.
you sweep a guy, you get 5,000.
right,
If you win one, if you go 2-1, then it's 4-2.
right, okay.
So if you win one match, you make $2,000.
Yeah.
And Danny said no, but
His reasoning for saying no was a bad reason because he was misinformed.
What was the reason?
this is the reason. Before, maybe 2 years ago, all this shit blew up on the internet about them playing. So, and at the time, John was he was so pissed at Danny. He said he'd rather be eat by a goat and shit off a cliff than put $1 in Danny's pockets.
Yeah,
And,
I'll never play.
and all this stuff. He goes, "You said I'll never ever." He said, "No matter how much I could win, it's not worth how pissed off I would be the fact that he could make something." You know what I mean? It was just.
It was pretty
So
ugly.
anyway, I called him and I said, "Look, we'll offer you more money than we've ever offered anybody before, and I don't even know if we can outrun it, but people want to see this match." So I said, "Look, we'll pay you $2,000."
Just show up money.
Yeah, to come and play. And that was with him bringing a backer, traditional tar match for a $10,000 match. and we guarantee him 2,000, and obviously, we'll guarantee Danny 2,000. How many matches of ours have you played in? And every match you've ever played in, have you got the same as the other guy, and his other guy got the same as you?
Everybody got the same.
Yeah.
Right. And if you didn't get the same, there's no way you can keep it a secret.
Right.
Everybody, you can't keep
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
a secret.
So
So Danny's all bent out of shape because I called John up and offered him that $2,000 to play, and he says no. He says no. It's just I don't want to do it. He goes, I just don't want to have anything to do with that guy. So I was like, all right, man. And I'm not going to lie, John pissed me off at the time when he did that because I'm like, here these people are saying there's no money in pool, and
you're paying them.
yeah, it's like shit. So anyway, I still love John though. It's okay.
He's funny.
But
He's just a sandwich maker, ex-sandwich maker.
ex-sandwich maker now. But so anyway, so that was the end of it. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, he's
And then later on the internet, they flared up again a year later or whatever, and somebody's made some post or something about, well, they offered me X, Y, Z, and Danny's like, well, they didn't offer me anything, so now he's all bent out of shape. And I said, Danny, look, the reason I didn't offer you 2,000 is because it takes
was no
two people
deal.
to make a match. It would be like me calling you up saying, hey, do you want to play Mark Griffin? And you say, no, I hate that guy. I'm not going to play him. Well, I'm sure as hell not going to call Mark after you tell me that and say, hey, by the way, here's an offer for a match, but it's never going to happen because he's not going to play.
Danny missed the point. The point was you go to the guy that won't play, and if you get him to say yes, well, then the other guy, then it's
Yeah.
easy. And then you say, okay, you're going to get 2,000 like the other guy. It never got to that point because John at that point was not going to play. He just Harriman
anyway.
jumped to conclusions with half the information. It's that
But
simple.
so anyway, I was thinking today, and I'm still a little hot at the whole fucking situation. But this was my thought: was I'm kind of tired of the whole saver situation, with everybody's got to make sure they get something, because I'm never sure I'm going to get something. I mean, if friggin' power goes out, I'm broke. You know what I mean? And so what I was thinking is, we just put up $5,000 and see who can beat you. And if they can beat you, they get $5,000. And if they can't beat you, you get $5,000.
and whoever
My
wins,
next opponent.
here I am. Oh, that's right, he won't play me.
I hope it's an easy one.
And the other beauty, the hidden beauty.
Well, no,
of this
and the
is
winner gets to stick around.
You're-
they become our champion.
They have
basically, we're a
it's King
stake
of the Hill.
horse.
It's King of the Hill.
Yeah, basically, we're the stake horse. So, and we're the best stake horse in the business because we don't even take a cut. You get all.
And it's King of the Hill, and it can't. Eventually we'll get. Might not be that number, but maybe there'll be some straight pool matches or some one pocket matches.
But I mean,
There could be anything that could entertain the public. It's it's what it should.
Well, I got a guy for you in May. Dennis Hatch says you got something for your ass before the U.S. Open Timball.
How about after the U.S. Open?
Okay, we can do it after.
Because I just found out that they're going to have the World Championship in Manila
Okay, before.
before the
Yeah,
U.S.
Maka
Open.
Banda's probably said he's going to play. So you won't be here for the one pocket, but he'll be
Nope.
here for the 10 ball.
Oh, perfect.
It's a 1 day. They get 2 days to get here, and we have a little bit of control on the draw. So if they're paid up and signed up, we make sure they don't play the first night. Doesn't mess with the who you're playing. It's just we have the opportunity to schedule them for the next day. That's all. Nothing funny going on. It's just changing the times. That's
So if there's anything changes, then
Okay.
you guys know.
But after will work, right?
Yeah.
Because you'll be here. Okay,
That would be fine with me.
I know.
That'd be fun to play with my
Yeah.
buddy Dennis.
Anybody got any questions for Shane?
or Kenny.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew or not, but remember that little shaft aiming thing we did here, where
Okay.
you showed that caused, like, I don't know, I think 4 or 5 people got stabbed over that on the internet. You get those aiming guys started, man.
Oh,
that's
it's brutal.
That's
They're-
like jihad. I mean, it's like blah, 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 they're fucking blowing each other up and shit.
No, it's some of these people get pretty emotional.
Well, that's my natural aim. So
That's how it works. Hey, everybody has some kind of system. A lot of times they may not
Everybody
even know what it
different.
is. You know?
I know one thing. I don't want to use the golf ball.
You've been waiting on that match with Hatch since he played that. Or something.
Yeah, Bustamante Part 2. Hey, we might run Bustamante in here on you.
Yeah, he'll be here. He'll be here for he's coming in on the 1 pocket and the 10 ball.
Yeah.
Efren probably not, which is unfortunate because he's the defending champion of the U.S. Open 1
I heard
pocket.
he's not coming.
Yeah.
So.
Efren's not.
He's got some issues. I mean, he's got some schedules. I don't mean issues. I said
There
that
you go.
wrong.
Piss everybody
now,
off.
now there's a rumor.
Yeah, there you go.
Griffin says Efren.
Mark
no.
Griffin says Efren sucks.
No. But everybody loves to watch him play. But, now they won't.
I think they got something going on in Manila, the matches.
I don't know. We indoctrinated Boosty into bar tables. He went up to the U.S.
Yeah,
Bar Table
yeah.
Championship.
Almost snapped off the. First thing he said was, "I can't. My stroke's too long. My
Yeah,
stroke's too long."
Yeah, it's a different game.
He's like, "I can't play. My stroke's too long."
Yeah.
And then he took second to.
And
third.
Yeah, he got sick. You won. You did
I
real
got
good
real
in
sick.
the. You did
You
real
got
good in the
sick?
10 ball.
I couldn't play the
had the
9
flu.
ball. And
Really?
That's why
April.
he.
I caught the biggest flu in my whole life.
No shit.
And the rest of
It's probably because you're bowling all the time, man.
I
What-
don't
did
All
know.
those nasty germs and shit, and those balls and shoes. Ugh.
It was terrible. I never felt like that before in
Really?
my life. I couldn't sleep for 2 days. I was coughing nonsense, and
Really?
it was just going on and on.
Well, nobody can compete with my
Yeah.
Reno
Could have been worse.
episode.
Could have
you
been
know.
like him.
Yeah, I was in the hospital for 6 days. So.
Internal bleeding.
I'm just like, I can't wait to get out of Reno and never come back.
Well, a lot of people may like it if you never come back. 'Cause
Yeah, no shit.
I could just imagine. Here's the headlines.
So
53,000.
you won the
derby,
10 ball, right? You won the 10
Yeah, I
ball?
won the 10 ball.
Yeah.
Well, hey, as long as we got you here, let's ask you about the. What did you think about the little Stevie Moore episode where he kind of flipped his lid there at the end? I mean,
Well, I don't know. I mean, not much for me to say. I mean,
he's playing
it's
you.
just the way he feels. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I kind of just told Stevie.
did it affect you at all that he was, right before you're getting ready to play a big hot seat match?
Well, I
You
mean,
know, that-
didn't really affect me. I mean, I still won the tournament. But
but you lost that match.
yeah, I mean,
That's what I'm saying. You lost that match.
well, he probably understood that it's not the right thing to do before a match. If you got some issues or problem with something, go directly to them,
Yeah.
not
Right.
right before the match.
Yeah, screaming and hollering. Yeah.
But he probably learned, and he probably apologized or whatever. But
No, he didn't apologize. He did not apologize.
No.
But I think I like Stevie, and
Me too.
He's one of the guys that when he's right, he thinks he's right. I think for the most part, and
There's a time and place for everything, and that was just not either.
no, I mean we all screw up,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
some to me that was a pretty big. To me that's showing your ass in a big way,
Yeah.
and
But
it's-
that gets back.
But anyway,
Yeah.
we had you here,
Yeah.
so I wanted to ask you
Yeah.
about it. What do we got? Okay, yeah. While we got you here on the subject, bank pool Derby City this year.
Are
Are you a cheater? What
Cheating.
happened? No, what happened? I mean, everybody wants to know.
okay,
What happened.
I called the 4 rails, and then the ball went 2 rails.
Yeah.
Everybody started clapping. Everybody started clapping, and then
And you didn't hit a hard
Well,
enough to go for it,
Let him finish.
well, it just happened something so quick. So what happened is John picked up his balls. He come to the table. Ken Schumann over there coming to get my balls and coming to the table, and then I pick up the cue ball. I'm like, what's going on?
like brain fart.
There's not much for me to say. So there was no cheating or anything. It's just everything happening in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
It just happened so quickly. I never experienced before. So we had a discussion, and then there you go.
So you end up forfeiting that game, right?
Yeah, I pretty much
lost the
gave him
game.
that game. So
Yeah.
And because the cue ball was moved. But they
Right.
could have restored the cue ball. They had in other games. But
there was only 2 balls on the table.
Yeah.
One got to be spot,
Yeah.
and then one hanging in the corner, and then
Right.
the cue
Yeah.
ball.
So
Did
You
you
know-
learn anything from it?
what's that?
What'd you learn? Did you learn anything?
Oh, I
in that
learned.
situation?
You know, I learned don't pick up the cue ball.
but as I was saying, I don't think you hit
Don't
that
pick
ball.
up the cue ball unless somebody else pick up the cue ball.
Yeah. I just didn't think you hit the ball hard enough to go for rails.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have got there, and I think
No,
everybody.
if I would gone 2 rails, I would never hit that hard. Actually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it just happened so quickly, and just lost the mind.
Yeah. You lost focus. I understand. It's
Yeah,
just
it's called a
confusing.
brain. It's called a brain fart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
What else we got? Any other questions?
No.
Anybody got any questions for Kenny?
Boy, does anybody even know who Kenny is? They don't know who
Everybody
you are.
knows.
You
Every-
need to win something.
Everybody,
You
who,
professional
everybody
straight pool
who's
player.
been around.
All right,
enough
all right.
knows
I'll tell you a
Kenny.
story. I
You
know
got a
this guy
All right.
since when?
Wow. It's been a while since when you was an amateur.
I was like 19, right?
Yeah.
Probably 19, 18 years old. In the VNA, right?
No, actually, it's BCA.
I think it was VNA. I played you in the match in the VNA.
Okay. It was
Right.
one of them. It was your last time you played amateur.
I think. Anyway, I played him
In
the-
Vegas, or
Yeah, in Vegas here. And I played you, right? And I beat you, or did you beat me?
No, I was the last amateur to beat
Careful what
there
you
you
say
go.
here. You tell everybody that you beat me. You lose all your action.
Amateur.
Anyway,
As
this
amateur.
is how I met this guy, and then we became friends for
Ever
10
since.
years almost. So.
well, Kenny comes down and
stuff.
plays in the Rum Runner every year, and he plays in all the. He's everywhere, you know. And you played some matches at Mars' house too, didn't you, with Bartram or somebody or some?
No,
you
it
were
wasn't
doing
me.
some.
Me and Dave Quinzel played at
Oh,
Mars.
okay.
Yeah.
I saw some.
Is John Mars coming?
No, one guy didn't want to come, so he decided he wasn't coming.
That's a damn
And
shame.
I said that on the internet.
Yeah. Mars is a good guy. Good for pool.
Yeah, people are asking like aiming questions and stuff like that.
Buy the DVD.
I
He'll be
don't.
making
I don't
one.
care. I mean, we can put them up there on the table, but I don't think we have time actually.
What did they ask?
Eye pattern? What the hell is an eye pattern?
Oh, it's probably when you look up, down. You know, where your eyes are shifting.
Or you-
Some people where you. A lot of people. There's
What's
different
the last
theories.
thing you look at?
Yeah, what
the object ball?
Well, I looked at my fail and then the object ball probably twice,
Uh-huh.
and then I get in stroke and shoot.
What's the last thing
Last
you look
thing
at?
you're looking at.
Last thing I'm looking at the object ball.
Yeah. And most of the times that's normal, except a lot of billiard players look at the cue ball, and when they break, they look at the cue ball. Most people look at the cue ball when you break. Yeah. Eye pattern is an interesting topic.
You play a tennis match with the shot.
Blondes or redheads?
Beginning, back and forth.
I'm sorry?
Blondes or
Tennis
redheads?
match, you look at the cue
Oh
ball.
yeah.
Blondes or redheads? That's the question. Blondes or redheads?
You mean I have to choose?
I prefer blondes.
Blondes. So there you go.
Well, it depends, actually.
What's available? Whatever's fresh that day. So what do you got going on? You got the Rum Runner. You're going to the Four Bears thing next month.
Yep.
What's between that? What's between now
And
and,
then from there, I fly to Manila, play 2 tournaments there,
two tournaments, and you come back for the U.S. Open 10 ball and probably Hatch.
and then hash. And then
What's the 2 tournaments in the Philippines?
they have a mayor. They're the mayor in Manila.
Well, the Mayor's Cup or something, that smaller tournament thing, and then the
Anybody
US
can
Open.
play, $200 entry fee, and
Yeah.
unlimited field.
Did you guys hear anything about? I read an article, just like a little internet blurb, saying basically Manny Pacquiao basically was talking like he's gotten like in touch with his spiritual side or something like this. Supposedly quit gambling and they were talking about his last fight in June might be his last fight to retire.
He got in
because
some heat for taxes.
From what I heard,
He's gotten some.
he
Philippine
lost his
taxes.
poker room over there.
Oh yeah.
He used to have a poker room with
In the casino? What,
the
right.
casino and 4 tables where everybody was gambling,
Uh-huh.
and he closed it down pretty much.
Yeah.
That's probably where Alex and everybody played.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But this article basically was like he felt like, you know, his religion or whatever was, you know, he had a change of heart about, you know, fighting, gambling, all this other stuff.
Well, he's
and
going through some changes
he
too.
feels
He's a-
like he wants to focus more on his family and
Well, he's a senator now too,
Yeah.
and the politics. He could be the next president of the Philippines. You know, he's that
Yeah.
popular.
oh yeah,
Oh,
he's,
yeah,
he's like
he's-
a god
he's-
over there, man.
You know,
Yeah.
and so there's different things going through his
Mm-hmm.
head. Plus, in all honesty, I've heard, you know, that too many of the pool players are taking advantage of him.
Right.
Yeah.
They're just, it's not right.
Yeah. Have you seen any of that or heard about
I
it?
seen him gambling out there, and he
Yeah.
playing a lot of pool, and
Puts a lot of people in action.
Yeah.
he's playing for a lot of money
What's
over there.
Orcullo State Course, right? Or was it one time?
It was Ocolo, Alcanos,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple other guys.
Orcullo and him would be a good match. Now,
Be
how
a
do we get
fantastic
him?
match.
How do we get Dennis? Listen, when you go over there, you tell Dennis Orcullo that Justin's going to give him $2,000 if he shows up on this table to play you.
Won't be enough.
Well, I know we tried that. This is all. But really, if you would talk to Dennis or someone, and let's see if we can make some of these things happen.
John Mars wanted to make it happen at Derby on the bar table.
Yeah.
Well, next time
cool, yeah.
if you come to the U.S.,
Yeah, actually, John sent me a text, and I never have got with Hennessy yet, but he said Hennessy could have last 2 on the bar table for 10,000.
yeah, that, I told John,
Goofy fucking
let's do it.
I love that.
John wants to see something going, and,
Yeah.
we can make something happen.
Well, I mean, Henny's he can
He
a
can play.
monster on that bar table.
I know,
play.
I've been playing with him since I was.
Remember in Reno when he
21
threw
years old.
a cue ball at you?
No, it wasn't me.
I missed that one.
Yeah, it was.
I was on the
you.
road in Tennessee, and he just scratched and then pick up the cue ball and just sort of just aiming at me. You know?
Well, what was he doing in Reno? Because I remember in Reno, you beat him there in 2007.
There was an issue with him. I don't remember what it was. I wasn't
He
there.
He
There was
threw a
something going on.
racker. He did something.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, and the thing of it is, you know,
He's mellowed out too.
He
He's
has
playing
quite a bit.
The
He
guy,
has quite a
I
bit.
get along fine with him, but he gets sometimes he gets the wrong.
you know the
person
thing.
to
The
play
thing I
pool,
really
you know.
like, you know, a lot of people don't like Hennessy for whatever reason or perception or things like that. But the one thing that I like about that guy, no matter what, is he doesn't have an ounce of dog in him. He fights and fights and fights. You know, he plays
Well, he
hard
loved
for
pool.
the money.
He-
You know what I mean?
He liked fortune,
Yeah,
like me.
I mean,
he wants
he's-
to win. Everybody wants to win.
Yeah.
Right, and he's not afraid to get in there and play. You know
For
what I mean?
him, he wants to win.
Yeah, and that to me is a trait that.
You know, he's got that little
there's
pool
not
room
enough
going
of
now
it. Mm-hmm.
too, which is a distraction to your game sometimes. He's got a really nice girlfriend, Amanda, and just, I mean, things are going good for him. And I think that's probably why he's mellowing out as a person. Plus, he's
Yeah.
getting older.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I mean,
I think it's
I
great.
think that'd be a good match.
Yeah.
You know, and we just made a score. What about James Walden, man? I mean, where'd he come
is
from?
Is he starting to play again? Or
That's who Hennessy just played.
yeah,
He just beat him out of
Beat
20.
him,
yeah.
Yeah,
20,000?
yeah.
I think Hennessy's supposed to win that game. Was there any weight involved?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I didn't see it.
You know, in his day, Walden was tough,
He was some
double,
age.
triple tough.
Especially on the bar table.
Well,
Especially when the money got high.
that's the thing. He loved them big games. You know, that was him and Cooney had that. Well, at the second or third Derby was a $250,000 match. It was like 10 ahead or something crazy.
Steve Kerr wanted to know if it's okay to put your 115 ball run up on YouTube.
That's fine.
Sure. That'd
There
be
you
great.
go, man.
Put it up.
Which, yeah, thanks, Steve.
I like to
He's-
watch it again. So
That's the high run guys. That's one of the guys that did the high run contest at the Super Billiard Expo. He and Charlie Ames do a great job, and I'm sure that they'll resolve the little issue they had this year of no finals. I think that'll get resolved.
I had a guy here, Brian M416, said Shane's long rhythmic stroke reminds me of Buddy Hall. Have you played Buddy Hall or talked to him much?
I talked to him a couple times, and
You ever played Buddy in a
I
tournament?
did
or
play
anything?
him in a tournament in Olathe, Kansas. I ended up winning, and he was
Big table or little?
bar table,
Yeah.
and he was playing pretty good in the bar table. I remember the match when Hill. He had me down quite a ways. So
You used to talk about Olathe, and man, I wonder if we could ever do another one of those bar table ring games. You remember those
that was
things?
fun.
3,000 a man, 30
Yeah.
players.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That's right. Yeah.
And it was a ring game, so no defense.
Yeah.
That
That
was
was
a
a
big
lot
grind.
of fun, right? Yeah, it was a lot of pool, man. That was a
Yeah.
lot of pool. They played, what, like 12, 14 hours that first day?
Yep.
Isn't that the one where they pass back? In other words, if I don't want the shot, I can
Yes.
pass it back to
Yes.
you. I don't know if I like that. I think they should maybe pass it forward.
Yeah. Well, you get into the
But-
whole mechanics of ring games
Yeah.
and things.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
That was good stuff.
See, and you can't do that in like in a tar studio. You need two
No,
or three tables
no.
because the dynamics change.
Yeah. But I mean, that would be something you could do somewhere else. But that was a unique event, and that was something
Did
that
two of them or one of them?
did two.
Maybe you could do that. Maybe Mark, you can do that in your tournament.
Not this year.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe you can
tournaments-
have some idea for next year. Or something.
And when we move to the Rio, we're going to have a little more flexibility on things.
Now at the Rio, you could do that. You could almost do that like 2 days before the tournament starts. You got so much bloody room there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's really we expect some interesting things to come out of the Rio because the poker players are moving out as we're moving in,
Yeah.
and we're going to try to move in early so maybe we can keep a couple of those poker players around
Yeah.
because some of them like pool,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, from what I understand, well, I don't really want to get into that, but
Yeah.
they've been playing high in New York City.
yeah,
Did you think about going to New York after?
is that they only play the one time, one day, 50
No, they played.
again?
I don't want to get
Oscar?
into it. I mean,
Okay,
it's
okay.
What
not
did
for me
you
to
say about New York?
They were playing high up there.
Oh, okay.
There was a bunch of people up there playing high, but it goes back to the poker money thing.
Yeah,
You know?
I just was wondering if Oscar was still playing up there. But
No, he's gone. Everybody's gone as far as I know.
Cleary's not. Cleary's always there. New York. Oh, he's probably listening to now. He'll pick on me forever.
So we got May. I'm serious, man. The more I think about that, what do you think about that, Kenny? Just $5,000. TAR champion. Whoever the TAR champion is, you're in action.
Well, now
What keeps other certain players from, say, example, for a guy like, I'm not saying me,
Yeah.
but
Sure.
using a guy like myself,
Right.
what keep a guy like me from throwing his name in the hat?
Can't. It's got to be somebody we can sell.
Okay, gotcha.
and that's not a. We don't know who that is. I mean, can't, make us a list. Can't do that.
It'd probably be
Bring
a
us
list
the
of
name.
5 or 6 guys.
There's not that many.
I mean, think about it.
Sure, you can.
Mika,
Dennis
Hatch, Archer,
is a cool.
Appleton. Oh, yeah.
All the
Any
Filipinos.
Right.
Bustamante, whatever, you know.
So
Alcano.
you're
There's
looking
a,
at
So-
more or less top 10 players.
Yeah, exactly.
Corey.
Maybe Rodney.
Rodney would get some good
you know,
respect, you know. I mean,
But, these the usual suspects, you top 10 guys. But, the thing of it is, most of those guys aren't going to take an even shot at him. But that
With
would
their
be
money,
Yeah, but that's the thing. That would be the cool thing is, and now, why wouldn't you? You run it in there and
well, but you're saying the way you're structuring it, they have to have their own airfare and hotel out here.
No. We'd have that to make it work. You got to make it not cost them a dime.
Okay, well, I agree. That's what I'm asking. So
Yeah.
you're saying we'd still cover that
Yeah,
when the winner takes home 5 and the loser takes home
nothing.
nothing. Okay.
You got to put some drama in it. That's what
Yeah.
sells it. You know what I mean? You got to put some heat in
And no
it.
savers, like we said.
No,
Anybody
yeah.
saves anything, they'll never play another match
Yeah.
or a CSI event. We're just done.
I mean,
it
I'm
has
just-
never happened to us. Don't
Yeah.
misread this. Has never happened in a tar match that we're aware of. And,
But if somebody
but
offered
it's-
you that chance, if they said, "Okay, here's the deal. You're either going to win 5,000 or nothing, but it's not going to cost you a dime to go play," would you do it?
yeah, of course. Why not?
Well, you have the right
Who
answer.
else has it?
See, he's not afraid to lose. That's what I've been saying for years, and that's why he wins.
But you
Well,
go-
not only that, it's just I just love to play the game.
Well, I know, but there's a lot of difference.
It's never
And,
about the money. I don't care if the guy asks me for 1,000 to come and play. If the trip is paid for, if there's action playing pool,
Yeah.
There you go.
that's all I care.
America should listen here. You know, I tell
It's
you.
almost like boxing. He wants to be the people's champion.
That's how people get. You know, if you want to be the top pool players in the world, you have to be in action all the time.
I totally agree. The Filipinos got that part right.
Yes, absolutely.
It doesn't
Oh,
matter
yeah.
how much it is for the Filipino. They'll come and play for $100, I bet.
Yeah, no, they will. It's just, you know.
And they'll fly to the moon, pretty much.
We tried to put a deal together with Dennis Orculo, and it was just so price prohibitive that it was just,
Well, the thing with,
they wanted too much.
and that's the
They-
whole thing, is it's always, not always, but it seems, it's one of the good things and hard things about when we try to do matches with some of the Filipinos is you never deal with just the player. You're dealing with a camp,
Yeah.
you know. And so it's, you know, it's one of those things. And that's another perfect example of we made an offer, and it was the best offer we've ever made. And it was an offer to the point where we probably wouldn't have made money on it. And they came back, and it wasn't enough. And the thing of it was, and I know it's more.
Yeah,
than,
it was brutal what they came back with.
Than
I mean, it
anybody
was-
gets to, you know. It's the dumbest thing in the world, but I mean, it was way more than he got to play in. You know, they don't get anything to play in the U.S. Open or the Derby. They get a hotel room. You know, maybe if they're lucky, they get an entry fee paid. But you know, it's not like they're getting any guaranteed money to show up. You know, I mean, their expenses might get covered, but if they don't cash, they're screwed. We were offering way better than that.
And the dynamics of just a one-on-one match is a whole lot different than 256-man
Right.
field.
And what it comes down to is everybody thinks,
Nope.
oh well, if you're offering this, that means you can give more.
Yeah.
You
And it
know?
just-
and
it-
maybe
it-
I'm a shitty negotiator. I'm not going to lie.
Well, they're
You know,
misunderstanding
I mean,
the makeup here.
I'm like
It's-
here it is, yes or no. Okay, see you, have a good
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
I got a
But-
question.
Yeah.
How much did the Alex match that you played a few years back, the race 100, change or help you after losing that match in the fashion that you lost it?
I just want to repeat the question because Kenny doesn't have a mic in case anybody
Yeah.
didn't hear. But he asked how did the Alex match that you lost,
When you were ahead by 22 games or whatever. Yeah, what was that?
how did that, if I'm screwed up, let me know. But how did that affect you after? Did it help you or hurt you? Is that right?
Correct.
I was pretty bummed out when I lost, you know, by 23 games. But after that, it kept me a lot of thinking that, you know, it doesn't matter what the score is. It helped me that you got to put the player away.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what game. Don't ever try to
Relax. Yeah, don't relax.
I don't know how to say it, but don't ever try to, you know, you got to take down every game, you know.
Right.
And that's what I've been doing the last couple of years. And I think this is why I've been dominating, you know, a lot of 10-ball tournaments. I'm just real focused. I would take down every game as much as I can.
So short term, it kind of screwed you up,
Yeah.
but it made you harder in the long term, right?
Didn't Alex kind of follow him around for a while? Wasn't there like 2 or 3?
was before that.
That was before that. Okay.
I was before that. Yeah.
Well, Alex is a monster. If there's no telling how he'd play if he'd play pool a little more often.
He played
know?
great. I mean,
Yeah. I didn't get to see that. You also learned probably to eat once in a while because that's the game you just
You got
ran
the best
out of gas.
question of the night award, by the way.
Yeah, that was a good
Yeah.
question. Who told you that question?
I have said this I was there.
Yeah.
And I talked to him about that, you know, to a degree, and I talked to John. I said, John, I like Alex, and even at the time, I was actually betting with Alex.
Yeah. John
Right.
Mars.
Yes,
was
because I
staking.
had part of the action with Alex.
Yeah.
And I said, John, after this, I'm never betting against Shane again. Because believe me,
He learned.
this match, because I'm a pool player who loves the game,
Yeah.
and I say I know his passion for the game because I don't talk to him many times about how many hours he put in for practice and whatnot, and he can make a mistake in a match playing in a tournament, and he would lead that. Nobody would know what he's going to do, but you'll find him at a pool room practicing those shots. And I said that's dedication. I don't know no player on this earth that's more dedicated to the game than Shane.
Yep.
And I said, Alex had his opportunity, and he better live it and enjoy it because from this point on, he's going to have trouble trying to beat Shane. Anybody going to have trouble. I said, the man is young.
Yeah.
And by the time he get 30, is there anybody going to be able to touch him?
Yeah.
Well, we're still waiting for a
Yeah.
couple of world
So,
titles,
right
but
now,
that's a
he's-
funny.
hey,
Yeah.
He's still in his prime right
I
now.
know.
Oh, yeah,
Wait till
yeah.
you get
You're
really
not
at 30 where he
28,
don't
right?
28.
Yeah, he haven't even got to the point where he's really seasoned.
Right.
Everybody will say, yes, he is, because he's doing what he's doing, the derby and everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, but wait till you get about 30 where he's like that maturity really has set in.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Well,
I
and you
think
can
it's
and
gonna
you
be
can
a
keep
monster.
that pace for 15 years.
yes.
Yeah.
Mid 40s.
Because
you
he's
know,
dedicated.
and
That's the
plus
key.
he's staying in shape. He might get to the mid 50s. You know, 50's not old anymore. You know.
60 isn't old anymore.
There's
Okay.
no, but you got to remember, he ain't married yet either.
No.
Yeah, that's true. You know.
It don't seem like he's in a hurry to get married.
He likes winning. He likes winning. Somebody said, does Tar realize they are nothing without Shane? I don't know about that.
I'm gonna disagree with
I
that,
will
too.
say that between, I think we've helped each other. Shane's definitely, we've been fortunate. I consider it really lucky, that
But everybody's got to understand because he'll play. Now, I mean, Johnny Archer could be sitting in the same stool here as Shane
Yeah,
if he
absolutely.
just show up.
Yeah.
And the problem is, I said it before, he's not afraid to lose. That's
Yeah.
why he wins.
Yeah.
I think these other, and it's also a sign of what's going on with American pool, which is not a healthy sign.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, in the world, American pool players are second-class citizens.
But that's a very valid point, is that, the one thing, I've never called him and had him turn down a match.
Against anybody.
Anyone. I can't say that about anybody else. I've had people call and never accept a match. So what do you do there? I stopped calling them. You work with the people who are.
Well, that's the other thing that not going.
And the other thing about Shane, another reason why you've seen so much of him, is because of the guy he was talking about before, John Mars. John's one of those guys. If it's a game, he's in. I mean,
Yeah.
if it's a fair game, it just got to be fair. Don't got to be great, but and if if that means that we're nothing without Shane, we wouldn't be nothing without Mars either, or this guy.
Yeah.
It's
the chemistry.
That's the way
it's
you
the
want to look
mixture.
at it. That's
Yeah.
fine. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I've got no problem being associated with the best people in pool. If that means I can't do what I do without them, you're probably right.
Yeah. That's it.
What about Mike DeShane?
And just
Mike will play.
yeah,
He
Mike
sent
wants
me
to
a
play.
message, said he wants to play.
A lot of the young guns.
And
want to
I
play.
think Mike's going to be a talent. I
He
think
is a
he's
talent.
going to be. I think he's going to be one.
Yeah.
You see a lot of guys like I'm trying to remember what was the Coltrane.
Coltrane.
And then there's different guys like that. You see them come up, and it's like you think they can make it. They look like they can make it, but for whatever reason, it's like they don't stick around. But
There's been a couple of monster players. Now Coltrane was a medical issue. You had the kid from Iowa,
Cucharo.
Cacharo. Oh, he just beat
I
everybody.
have never seen Mike Coltrane play.
Yeah.
Well, he had the nerve
tremor
disease,
thing.
the tremor disease, and it just got so obnoxious that he just couldn't play.
Yeah.
He had a lot of talent. This kid played really good.
Yeah. Cucharo at one time was supposed to be just an absolute.
Monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, some of them get there and some of them don't.
People change.
Yeah, exactly.
Priorities.
Priorities, life. Well, who's the guy here in town, the dealer, Teddy Garahan?
Is he still living here?
I think he
Yeah.
was.
He's playing in the Rum Runner, I think. I think
Teddy, I remember watching.
he was
Teddy
on the
play
verge
back
of
in the
breaking
day.
big time. Yeah.
I mean,
I
Teddy.
met him about 6-7 years ago in Mexico.
Yeah,
I played him in the finals in the tournament there.
yeah.
He played well.
In Mexico.
Yeah.
What's the name?
Mexico, New Mexico, yeah.
Oh, New Mexico. I was like, okay, yeah.
But I mean, and I think, I think Mike's at that level now to where it's like he's either going to come or go, and I think he's going to stick around.
So do I. Well, there's a whole pile of, Engels, Runnigan, Brandon Schuff.
I heard Bo quit playing pool.
He was really thinking about it when he was down
Did
here.
you hear that?
Well, he's got a family.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and-
he moved to California and with his wife. And
See, now I did not know he moved to California.
Yes, yes.
He couldn't. He was played in the Swanee, And he said he couldn't play in the U.S. Bar Table Championship because he just had some family commitments.
That was the last time I saw him.
Yeah.
Was here, I think it was 2 years ago.
Which Bo's one of my favorite dudes, man. He's just
a straight-up
super
nice
nice
guy.
guy. Good, solid player. Plays slow as shit, but you know he's a good player, man. Good guy. And Jesse Engel, you know, I like to see Jesse
Yeah.
get out and be able to you know do some more things, stretch his legs, because I think Jesse reminds me of you. You know?
Another kid, Billy Thorpe.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is he, like 15 now?
Yeah, he's 15 and been beating a lot of players out there and at the Super Billiards Expo, and you know he's gambling pretty high.
Well, this is like we were talking about this Sergio Rivas. If 12 years old, comes in fourth in the Open out the Super Billiards Expo.
Yep.
979 players. He comes in fourth.
Yes, that kid.
I mean, they,
What was he?
I'll be
I
surprised to
heard
see.
12, but I actually think
Yeah.
he might be 13 or something. I actually, you know, but it doesn't make any difference. That's, you know.
There'll be quite a few young players coming up in the next 5 years.
I hope so. It's just that, you know, it's such we've got to build a better pool world for them. You know.
I'm thinking, who is this Jim Rios guy? There's some troll in the chat room that's just, I don't know. It goes back to what you said earlier when we started. He made a point that, like, lately it seems like, and Barton said something, that's just the internet, which that's true. I mean, what it is, it's just the internet. But it's like, you know, there's always like the one douchebag, you know, who's got to come in and just be the troll.
And there's so much anger.
Yeah.
You read anything. Everybody's just wired up to there. Everybody's pissed off.
Is that,
you know?
Do you ever fool around the forums at all anymore, or are you just not pay attention?
No, I just lost interest into it. You know,
Well,
I don't really care. It's just, you know, I like to play pool. I'm not interested in see
What somebody thinks about it?
what people say or what.
Yeah, and that's probably the right attitude.
Life is too short. I just think of it. Life is too short. There's no reason to look back and see what people think.
Yeah.
And
All the
sometimes,
haters
you know,
or whatever.
You can get some. Listen. There's gems in every pile of mud, but there are some real haters out there. They're just some real weenies. You know. I mean, they're just unbelievable. Why they say some of the things they say, and obviously with a phony name. You know.
I honestly, I really don't care.
Well, you got the right attitude.
I just like to go play pool and have fun and enjoy my life if I can.
Yeah.
There's a question here. You just came from the South Dakota State Tournament. That's got to be really cool for you at this point in your life to go back to that. Because I know the state tournament in South Dakota. I lived in Sioux Falls for a year, so I got to see. I know that's kind of a big deal there. Everybody, and there's a great pool community up there too. And
the last time I was up there was probably 7 years ago, and
yeah.
I was happy to go up there and see all my friends and see where I came from.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, that's got to be cool. That's like walking back into your high school when you're like John Elway.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Or Tiger Woods or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like,
It was a good feeling, and you know, I had a good time. And
that's really cool.
so
Somebody online gave you Johnny T, I believe it was, started a thread and gave you a lot of props. I
Spanky
guess
79.
Was it Spanky 79? Sorry, Spanky. But it was just the stream table caught you just playing pool with some kid.
Give me some pointers.
The kid's name is Alice, and his dad is one of my friends from years back ago. So he got this kid that wants to play pool, and I help him out a little bit. I can see that he's going to be the South Dakota State champion in probably
Really?
8 years.
No shit.
Yeah. So I mean, he's a good kid.
What about if you were in South Dakota? What about the sleeve, man? Are we ever going to see the sleeve again?
I just played him last night, and he beat me a couple of sessions.
Is he playing very much? Of course,
He's pretty much back in action. I mean, he
Really?
They still
he
own
beat
their-
me he beat me 7-1.
What?
Damn.
8-ball, 9-ball.
He just rolled over me.
Were
I
you
mean,
drinking
like
Corona?
nothing. he ran 4 rasts in a row, and I was like, I'm done. So,
Is he coming?
Action. Look at you. You blowing action for him.
Is he coming to Vegas in May?
I believe not. You know.
He's
Shit.
running his bar up there. You know.
I know.
But he will.
They were here last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
That whole family, it's the Benke family. They're all
Great
they're
people, man.
they're
Awesome
If
people.
we had 1,000 families like that in the U.S.,
Yeah.
pool would have no problems.
Yeah, great people.
Yeah.
I miss the sleeve, man.
He'll be back later this year.
Yeah, I
He's
hope
gonna
so.
start traveling with me and. come
Oh,
to town.
right
Oh,
on.
really?
I talked to him about it. The
Nice.
last couple of days. And so.
So
would
you're
be
going to make
good.
the money, he's going to lose it. That way you can have break even and have fun, huh?
I got a funny story. I got a Sleeve and Shane story for you, right? We're at Super Billiards Expo, and they're in the pit. And Sleeve's on the road with Shane. Been on the road with him for like most of the year. And so, and this was still before he was 100% monster. It was like, you know, people who knew he was a monster. So he gets in the pit at Super Billiards Expo, and he's playing for like 20 rack. And he's like, I mean, he wins like 10 or 15 games, something stupid. You remember what I'm talking about? And I asked Sleeve, I was like, so, you know, how many of you guys up? And he goes, I don't know. I didn't get a piece of the action. I go, what are you talking about? He's your road dog. He goes, he said some other guy came up and asked to put him in, so he said, okay.
He wasn't happy.
Yeah, that pit, that's the first place I ever saw John Mora play. He was betting big and winning a few, too.
I'll
do
never
remember
forget that. You
I-
remember?
I won like 900 and
At 20 a game.
half of it.
Oh, that was so funny. Sleeve was so pissed. I miss that
Oh,
guy,
man.
man.
Yeah,
he's
he's
got a
good
pool
people.
room up there. If anybody's ever around Sioux Falls, what's the name of it? Big Dogs or?
Dakota Q Club.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
And there's that's the pool room. And then there's a sports bar too, right?
Yep.
But
Yeah.
say hi to Sleeve and the whole Binky clan.
Yep, the whole family. Well, listen, you know.
Yeah, I think it's dinner time.
Yeah, it's dinner time, and
It's,
we'll put these people to
7:30.
sleep. We appreciate you coming by.
Yeah.
Yep.
all
Thank you
three
very
of
much. all of
Even
Yeah.
you, Randy. You know. But
So
well, next week we'll talk about the rum runner.
Yeah.
And we'll see if he wins a third time.
tie it up.
You're going to go high in that Calcutta.
I'll guarantee I'll probably go first pick for
At least. At
3,200.
least. You're probably right. It's probably going to. You're probably pretty close.
Last year I think I went for 31.
All right. Say goodnight, Shane.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night, y'all. See you next Thursday, same time, same place.